Hi, Toby Ouvry. I'm a meditation and mindfulness trainer and teacher. I've been practicing it for 25 years and I'm based in Singapore. My main message with regard to mindfulness training is how to help people to develop sustainable high performance through mindfulness practice. If you can become more self-aware, then your capacity for self-regulation is going to improve as a side effect of that. So mindfulness is very much about how can I increase my capacity for learning in the moment. All right. So if during the day I'm having to manage myself as I'm working, the more likely it's going to be that I'm going to become aware of any time I'm moving out of balance, and I'm going to make an adjustment back to a central or balanced position. On a very, very simple level, if you want to give yourself mental and emotional stability, it's good to pay more attention to your senses. So your senses are the most simple, basic units of consciousness. So if you're feeling mentally busy, emotionally unbalanced or confused, then your basic question is, where is my body? What's happening in my immediate environment? Where's the weight of my body? Right? So questions like this to bring yourself back to your senses, which bring you back to the present moment and make your mental world less complex. So the equation there would be, the more your attention is on your senses, the less complex your mind is going to be. So if you're a highly educated, fast-moving person, then because you've got to have such a complicated operating system, there's a lot that can go wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like having a really high-quality car engine. If I were to, put up the hood and have a look at the engine, I wouldn't have a clue, what's going on, because there's so much complexity. So all the time, we're so complex, so educated, so capable that the complexity gets in the way of basic, simple self-management and ways of managing your stress and your emotions that would become quite obvious to you if you're able to slow your mind down enough to start to notice. So bringing your attention back to your senses is a good way to start. You want to make your working day, week, month, and of course there is now this kind of indefinite progression to, we don't know how long we're going to be working. You want to make it a sustainable process of high performance. So one simple way to do that is to just make sure you're putting in breaks. So I normally practice in 25-minute increments. So 25 minutes on, 5-minute break, center, relax, do something else, then set up the next task, do that for 25 minutes, break, center, relax a bit, then set up the next task. Quite often in those breaks, I will move. So one of the things we're not doing at the moment is commuting and moving around a lot. So if you're sat, we already have a chronic problem around sitting, right? Our body postures are already severely influenced by too much sitting. So right now we're not even commuting, we're not moving around. So get up off your ass for, at least once every 25 minutes, move around a little bit. That also really helps the kind of psychological fog that can build up, in your mind if you're at home all day, if you're not communicating with people in the way you would normally do it. And you're staring at computers even more than you would be, if you were, at work in a normal context. First thing would be take care of yourself and keep yourself centered. The more centered and present you are to and with your colleagues, even when you're online with them, then the better you're going to be able to notice what they're going through and compensate your behavior to accommodate that and to give the best chance of the way in which you communicate yourself coming across as sympathetic or understandable to them. The other big thing would be to just simply take a few moments to take the perspective of the other. So if you have a group or a team that you're going through, just making sure that, just even for short periods of time, 30 seconds to 1 minute, just really trying to inhabit their shoes, so that when you actually come to talk with them, you're actually really you're meeting the person that is that is there, and you've spent the time really empathizing with what it's like to look at you from their point of view, as kind of empathetically and sympathetically as possible. So taking a second person perspective like that. Well, one of the things that I've noticed that I've been enjoying is because we don't have this commute time, there is an extra hour or so during the day. Okay, so sympathetic to people with children having to educate the kids at the same time as working, but I notice there is a little bit more time and moments in between because I'm not commuting where I can just drop into a space where I can center myself and actually be mindful. So it's a good time to set up a structured mindfulness practice, which can be as simple as 3 times a day for 1 minute. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening. So it's a good opportunity to set up a structured mindfulness practice. It's also a really good time because there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of potential anxiety around that. It's a really, really good time to center yourself every day around the experience of basically what's good in my life. So one really simple question that you can ask yourself regularly is what's good in my life, and just for a couple of minutes just allow your attention to follow that question, just so that what is good is in the front and center of your awareness, rather than all of the uncertainties and the problems kind of piling in and just and muscling out all that is good and all the positive things that are available to you today and in this moment.